So it's a different way. So first you need to understand your customer. You need to really understand what drives them, and then you need to help them succeed. That's the way, the Western way.
By the way, German people, they have very much conceited.
They also have pride.
Pride and conceited. No humble.
No, I think French people.
French people so arrogant.
German is not so arrogant. They are kind of down to earth. They are. I think Germany is a Protestant country. They are majime. They are. Of course, they have pride in their technology, but Germans are not too proud to compromise if it's necessary.
My recognition before World War II, Japanese government or military made an association with Hitler. At that time, they tried not to equal with Japanese people.
But that is a different situation, Uno-san. So it's really, Germany has changed a lot. So at that time, Germany was at the bottom of Europe, right? So they were poor, they were defeated, they felt that they were not taken serious. So what happens with people who are in that position, they basically try to overcompensate. They blow up their own pride because they feel like, why are you pointing at me as I am inferior? So they feel inferior, and that's why they show themselves to be superior. So actually it's an inferiority complex.
Now it's different.
Now it's different. Now they are superior, so they can be humble.
They have never been conceited?
No, I don't think they are conceited at the moment. So Germany, 60 years ago, yeah, I completely agree. But Germany today is different story.
How about Italy?
They're always cocky. I mean, they just love to be cocky. It's cocky is kind of like ore ore. It's part of it, Italian life. It has to do with I don't know. I think Italia is very much of a Italy is a it's a kind of like a Romanesque sexy culture. They're always out there to impress women because they want to be like get closer to women or impress women. It's not only with women, also with men, but they always want to be number one in the room and get the adoration of women. So it's very much personal pride, but not so much. I don't think that they want to have this like this intrinsic admiration, but more they're just interested in actually getting the admiration of the other people.
How doing business well with them?
Oh, that's actually kind of easy. Socializing, taking time, enjoying the good life, really building a personal relationship. Don't mind so much about time, etc. It's really about making them shine. So if you make them feel good, if they feel admired and taken care of, they will treat you preferably. Yeah, it's much easier than doing business with Germans.
So it means French is most difficult.
French is very difficult because they have a bit tight ass, and they have very much cheap pride about their. Actually, they're very much take pride in their rhetorical skills. So they are very much focused on persuasion. They're always persuading. They're always arguing. They're always trying to show that they are right and you are not. So that they want you to agree with that, even though logically speaking, they may be right, but emotionally speaking, you feel but yet they are wrong. But for French people, if you are logically right, you're right. There's no other way. There's no other dimension. But I think in Japan, the emotional So maybe somebody may be logically right, but still you don't feel good with the other side. French people are totally blind to that.
How about British?
British are closer to Dutch, I think. Well, British always play a gentleman's game, right? But you have to be a bit careful. Count your fingers, because they might take one or two. So in the Netherlands we have a saying: so be careful shaking hands because they might take a finger or two.
So this is the kind of negotiation that we need to discuss with. So Asia Pacific, country by country, different.
Yeah.
And so Japanese, as I told you, they are not humble.
Right.
They are conceited.
But I think that actually, so when we look at, for example, Europe, sure, they are different. So you need to change your tactics, but your strategy is could be more or less the same within Europe.
Japanese.
So no, if you go to negotiate with European countries, of course they're different. So they will have different tactical level they're different, but on a strategical level, either where you're going to be like an offensive strategy or a defensive strategy, whether you're going to be want to make a compromise, or that is more or less not really culturally influenced, but the tactics that might choose in order to, for example, use like a good cop, bad cop strategy, or to really set high demands at the beginning, or those things. Those are tactical differences.
But Japanese usually cannot use kind of tactics you explained before, right? But they are going to use that kind of tactics. So you keep in your mind they're going to take kind of tactics and to prepare for it. But Japanese, they themselves cannot use kind of tactics for them.
Right.
Right. So I think if you're going to need to teach negotiation skill, another aspect should exist for Japanese people. Like I told you, to Asia Pacific people, or American people, West European people, is so three of those is different.
Right. So basically, I think that one of the key differences is that what I said before, is that actually when you start negotiating, basically you try to just get into negotiation from a clean perspective. So of course you're going to prepare your negotiation. You're going to say, okay, this is important to us, but and you're going to make assumptions about the other side. But the first step when you're actually starting to engage with the other side is to verify your assumptions. That means that you need to be very, very open-minded and clear to see, so what do I hear and how does that compare to my assumptions, and then adjust your assumptions accordingly. So the negotiation is very much not to drive your own agenda, not to actually say, okay, we have this and we have this and we have this and this is our cost structure, so that's how we're going to do it. But basically, so who are you? So what drives you? Why would you want to do business with me? Because it's not assumed that because we have the best technology we'll do business with you. No, because there are other, we are not blind to the fact that there are other offers, there are other competitors in the market who might offer something that is closer to what you need. So the better we understand what you need, the closer we can tailor our offer in order to meet your needs, not to meet our needs, but to meet your needs. So I don't know whether that is humble, but that is business common sense in Europe.
But that kind of sort of things, Japanese cannot do that. And so we're going to hire the intermediate person to negotiate with European people.
But that intermediate person needs to be very strong, because he or she needs to be capable of actually changing the attitude of the Japanese side. So the Japanese, when they are going to hire somebody, they need to be prepared to compromise. Otherwise, they will not do business.
Yeah, they can get a lot of money here in Tokyo, because yesterday met with 2 days ago met with German.
Yeah.
He stayed in Japan more than 5 years, and he cannot understand Japanese.
Is he from Tokyo?
No. He lives in Tokyo, but he came from Germany.
Ah, he lives from Tokyo. So actually, no, I know of somebody who does it.
He was working with Germany chemical company.
Yeah, actually, so I know somebody who's member of IBS.
So he can speak English fluently.
Yeah.
And he's very easy to find Japanese customer, because in the middle of Japanese company and the German company, he can communicate and what kind of negotiation issues.
Right.
He understands Japanese culture.
Oh, what's his? I mean, maybe you were recording. What's his name?
Yeah, this is guy.
Maybe I know him.
You know him?
So chemical, né? So that was his industry, I know. But he's not doing business with very big companies usually.
Maybe. Oh, this one.
No, it's a different guy. It's a different guy.
This is what I said. I told you last time. We need the kind of person need for the chemical doing business joint venture something in Germany.
So they love this, Germans. So you have to actually. Doctor means that he has a PhD.
Yes,
In Germany, they love that.
PhD. That's
Very important, Herr Doctor, Mr. Doctor. You need to address him. Well, in Germany at least.
Yeah, that's right. This person. This is what I. So sort of people, they understand Japanese people need those people to doing business. So okay, if you're going to doing business with European people, and this person must be involved.
Right.
And then what kind of negotiation skill we really need to get?
So basically, because even if this person is involved, it still means that you need to be prepared to compromise and to actually tailor your offering to meet the customer demand.
That case is he's going to recommend for Japanese company.
Right.
Might be expensive.
Might be expensive, yeah. Yeah. Might not be easy. Might lead to frictions between the consultant and the Japanese counterpart. But it's very. It sounds like fun work. I would love to do this. But you need good relationships. But I think it is especially easy for Japanese companies to do business with German companies because of their reputation in the market. They're also very much quality focused and very reliable when it comes to delivery terms and deal is a deal attitude. So most easy country to do business with, besides the negotiation part. Yeah, because like a German company will always stick to its word. They always have quality in mind, so you never be betrayed in that sense. But まあ人間関係はちょっと硬いさも sometimes.
Germany?
Yeah. And another thing is that in Germany, the work attitude is very much different. So they work relatively short hours. Not as short as France, but they work short hours. And they have long holidays. But when they work very hard and very efficient. So their productivity is very high, but they work relatively short. So if you are expecting the Germans to make extra hours and to meet deadlines, might be difficult. Especially, for example, in Japan, there is a tendency. Oh, I want to have this too, and then the request comes in late. German side said, sorry, cannot do that. that is the we need more time in order to make that deadline. They will not say, okay, we will add more people or whatever to just to follow whatever you need. They will say, no, sorry, cannot do that. So in that way, in that sense, they can be a little bit katai.
So this kind of negotiation skill we need to discuss by country, right?
No, that's very country specific. Yeah, that is country specific.
So if we're talking about kind of issues that I understand, but beforehand we're talking about selling a car is very difficult to understand. Right? Because we don't have kind of customs those issues.
Right.
And very difficult.
So if you're selling a car, even a car salesman doesn't think like this.
Yeah. So for Japanese people, it's boring, discussion. So we need to go into talking about specific by country, or just categorized by country.
Right.
So we know, and then what kind of component we need to be considered.
Right. Okay. So those are country-specific business cultural differences, but I believe there is actually a lot of value in actually knowing the fundamental framework.
Maybe you're going to write down the European people's value or vision or process relationship.
Right.
Might be different words coming up, right?
Right, but actually I think we did that before,
4
years ago. Yeah.
4 years ago.
Yeah.
I forget it.
So that's more about cultural differences within Europe. So
Yeah,
what is
Oh,
it?
by country,
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is important for Japanese people.
Right.
Not like this.
Right. So actually the order should have been reversed maybe. So this should have been first and then
Yeah,
more.
Takahashi going back, but I think he very interesting negotiation skill with Vietnamese people.